Good morning, friends. Welcome to Christian Education Today. I'm Pastor Calvin Lindstrom. Our topic is a Christian understanding of mathematics. A Christian understanding of mathematics. The subject of mathematics for many people was probably not their favorite subject in school. And if that was true for you, maybe as it comes to the teaching of mathematics, you are not always sure how is there a biblical worldview connected with this subject. It may be easier in terms of history or certain aspects of science to understand, well, this is the Christian perspective. This is what I want to have my children understand. But mathematics, by its very nature, is maybe a little more difficult to grasp in that regard. One of the books that we publish, a booklet, is called The Safety Net Plan. And it reviews the key areas of study and shows how there is a Christian understanding. The Christian worldview relates to every area of academic study. I would encourage you to check that out. I'll put a link in the description. You can find more about this. But there is a Christian understanding of mathematics also. And I want to just briefly explore this, even as someone who has a background in science and engineering. Took a lot of math classes obviously in school in the past. I still have to think through this, and it's a subject I've been fascinated by over the years, and so I just want to share a few things with you. How is the Christian worldview reflected even as we teach our children, as we teach others in the study of mathematics? So let's explore this briefly here. First, we can say mathematics is a gift. That's not how many children would see it, but we do have to stress there is a gift that God has given, the ability to use mathematics to model the real world is an amazing thing. So God's gift is the first thing that we should see. Second, there is an order, an entire order and reality that is based on the triune God. We're not constructing this order. We are using mathematics to try to better understand what God has established. There is a fundamental order that goes beyond just man's ability to construct and try to understand reality. And there's some very deep philosophical principles connected with this. Third, you do see the decimal system, the idea of a unit of 10 reflected throughout Scripture. Now, there are other base systems that you can use in mathematics. There's the binary system, there's hexadecimal, there are other ways of building numbers, but it is interesting that the decimal system is reflected. The idea of 10 is found throughout Scripture in both the Old and the New Testaments. We see this. Fourth, the whole idea of unity and diversity. Unity and diversity. When we teach that God is triune, it's best not to use something like the clover or even the egg or other things. Those are not the best ways of teaching this wonderful doctrine. It's better to reflect on the idea that there is both a unity and diversity in the world that God has created. And this is the one and the many principle that comes from the nature of God himself. I think it's a little more difficult to teach, but this is the way we should try to encourage students to see that even the very nature of God as the triune God, a perfect oneness, and yet there is this threeness, and we do see that reflected in different aspects of creation. Then another important principle is facts, not feelings, determine reality. We are bound, or we live in God's world, and what determines reality is what God has established. We very much want to live in a world where feelings now replace reality. And when you study mathematics, it's not about what you feel. It's about, do you have the right answer? Do you understand the concept? And so mathematics is a good way to remind our students there is an ultimate reality that God has created. And I think it's Ben Shapiro who says facts don't care about your feelings. Not that we ignore what someone feels in that sense, but feelings do not determine reality. God is the creator. We must live in God's world. These are just a few of the principles that we can share with our students as we try to get them to understand some of these concepts. That they're not easy to teach, but we should do our best to try to show our children that there is a larger reality. We live in God's world. Let us enjoy Him forever. For Christian Education Today and Christian Liberty, I'm Pastor Calvin Lindstrom. We'll see you next week, Lord willing, at this time. Thank you.